Hey, welcome back to the studio. I'm here again talking about 21 Pilots, looking at some of their music videos that are coming out and ones in the past, and I'm going to watch through them and then talk about the Dema lore, kind of like a breakdown of all the things I see, and yeah, just have a good time exploring this world that 21 Pilots has created for us. I'm going to go ahead and watch the first thing, watch it through. We're going to be looking at Stressed Out today, the music video that came out a few years ago. And then I'm going to be pointing out everything I see. And yeah, let's just get into it. All right.
I wish I found some better sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice that sang some better words. I wish I found some chords in an order that is new. I wish I didn't have to rhyme every time I sang. I was told when I get older all my fears would shrink, but now I'm insecure and I care what people think. My name's Blurryface and I care what you think. My name's Blurryface and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. We're stressed out. Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young. How come I'm never able to identify where it's coming from? I'd make a candle out of it if I ever found it. Try to sell it, never sell out of it. I'd probably only sell one. Maybe to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes, homegrown, a stone's throw from a creek we used to roam. But it would remind us of when nothing really mattered. Out of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take the ladder. My name's Blurryface and I care what you think. My name's Blurryface and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Used to play pretend, give each other different names. We would build a rocket ship and then we'd fly it far away. Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying, wake up, you need to make money. Yeah. We used to play pretend, give each other different names. We would build a rocket ship and then we'd fly it far away. Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying, wake up, you need to make money. Yeah. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
Used to play pretend bunny. We used to play pretend, wake up, you need the money. Used to play pretend bunny. We used to play pretend, wake up, you need the money. Used to play pretend, give each other different names. We would build a rocket ship and then we fly far away. Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying, wake up, you need to make money. Yeah.
Okay. Right off the bat, I guess I just want to point out this music video follows the narrative of the song pretty closely. So it's kind of about family, it's about childhood, it's about pressures of life getting to you, and you just want things to be more simple. It's a very on-the-nose representation of what we're seeing visually. The other aspect is there's a lot of things about Blurryface. I want to point out real quick that I don't know everything that there is about what's going on in every music video I see. There's a lot that's going on. So as I'm talking through this, if you see that I don't mention something or you saw something I didn't pick up on, I would love for you to comment and tell me that I missed it. Explain it to me. This should be a process that we can all go on to explore this journey of Dema that Tyler and Josh have set up for us. And it's supposed to be fun. And it's supposed to be a community. This album, Blurryface, and even this song, Stressed Out, the music video, it's very important because the Dema universe, because they didn't even say the name Dema until after this album was out and the Trench was, on its way to coming out. They didn't even bring up anything that there was going to be a narrative in place underneath their music until after this. But this is groundwork. This is setting up a few things, but the biggest thing is, what is the bishops? What are the bishops? Who are the villains? What's the antagonist that is working against Tyler and working against Josh in the narrative of the music? The biggest one is Blurryface. And in this song, in the whole album, we understand and we get the clear message that Blurryface is an embodiment of the insecurities that Tyler feels. The insecurities of performing, of growing up, of trying to accomplish what they set out to do, making music. And going along with that music theme is we see throughout the entire music video that Tyler has dark makeup on his hands and on his neck. And these are to represent the insecurities that he literally feels when writing and singing music. Also playing instruments. He plays the ukulele, the bass, the electric guitar. And so along the journey, that's a common narrative, that the insecurities are represented through the neck or through the hands. On Jumpsuit, we see Nico, the leader of the bishops, come up and rub dark makeup on his neck in the music video for Jumpsuit. And so we understand that there's a ties between Blurryface, the bishops, and the insecurities. So we understand that Blurryface is the literal, or Nico, is the literal embodiment of this idea of insecurities. Once we understand that, then we can start seeing the rest of the narrative play out. Like I said, it's really important groundwork that had to be put forth. On his backpack, we see the little symbol, the 9 circles, which represents the 9 bishops that we saw on the cover for Blurryface, the album. There are other designs that are 21 Pilots related, like the skeleton click. We actually see not just from Trench, but also we see in the new music, Scaled and Icy, although they're continuing the Dema universe narrative, we see that there's a song that kind of covers the topic of this insecurities, and it's Choker. It's literally talking about, he was born a choker. He was born not able to perform. He was born always going to be a klutz, or just these insecurities that you have about yourself, believing that there's nothing you can do. You're just vulnerable to your own inability, I guess. That's, again, insecurities that are focused on Choker, the neck. So it's the insecurities are choking out his ability to sing, And so that's a cool representation. There's always symbolism and colors involved with 21 Pilots. Across this music video and across the entire Blurryface album, it's black and red, and if you went to their shows, you saw there was a big theme as well. Black and red is the theme colors for the bishops, and we see that later on in the Trench era. So it makes sense that if they're doing a whole album that's laying the groundwork for the Dema universe and what the villains of the universe are, then those colors would represent those same characters. And then in Trench, we see the color yellow, and that's Banditos. That is the Jumpsuit. That's the people that cover you, that come around you, friends and family, to help you get through your struggles. In Trench's case, it's Clancy. The Banditos came to help Clancy escape Dema. And then now in Scaled and Icy, we see Trash the Dragon, which is represented by that teal cyan color. And he's kind of a representation of an inner strength that can combat the bishops. Word is still out on exactly what Trash represents, but it's a really cool visual character that is to reference or to have meaning of something. And I think from what we've received so far, I think that has to do with inner strength that Tyler is learning about, or, is coming out of, the darkness or wherever trash came from, that is a part of the narrative. And so we'll see where that goes. Again, with the colors, if the banditos represent the help you get from other people, well, then we saw from the narrative that ultimately that help wasn't successful because they became they became victims of Dema. And we don't know where Scaled and Icy's going, but it looks like there's some strength in Trash the Dragon that we don't have a full narrative on yet, but we're seeing potential that they can find some kind of victory over the bishops, specifically the insecurities. Let me know if you've noticed any other colors along the way, seeing, the pink, the yellow, the blue, the red, the black, any other colors that you're seeing that we might be missing, or any other clues as to what meanings of colors represent. I'd be really interested to see what you guys have found. A few moments that are just fun to point out in this video is the handshake. The handshake's actually something we've seen a few times. The next time we see the handshake in a video, I believe, is the Nico and the Niners from the Trench album. They do the handshake again. And then the other thing is there's a funny moment when Tyler sings the lyric about I'd rather take the ladder, and Josh looks at him real funny, and they kind of he's almost looking to Josh to see did you get it?
Ever found it, try to sell it, never sell out of it. I probably only sell one. Maybe to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes, homegrown, a stone's throw from a creek we used to roam. But it would remind us of when nothing
Here
really
it comes.
mattered. Out of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take the ladder. My name's Blurryface.
And then at the end, when it cuts to the wide, you can kind of see them laughing about it a little bit. So that was probably kind of a non-intentional funny moment that they included in there during production. The other thing that's not so specific, it's actually referencing, I think, messaging. As I've said in the last video, and Tyler himself has said in interviews, that he thinks that performance, facial expressions, small movements actually are really important to communication and to getting the point across. And so it's no wonder that if we pay attention to the way he looks, his facial expressions, even which direction he's looking, that it's communicating a message that he's trying to get across. And towards the end, right before the deep voice of Blurryface that's kind of consistent across the different songs that he shows up in, that Tyler kind of spaces out for a second before Blurryface comes on the scene and finishes the song out. So let's watch that real quick.
Was stressed out.
Used to play pretend.
All right, there. Did you see that? Let's play it one more time. So there's a little facial expression as he backs away from the mic. It looks like he starts to space, almost like he's forgetting where he's at, and a thought takes control. Look at this.
But now we're stressed out.
Used to play pretend.
And then it shows, the shot of Blurryface, which is Tyler with red eyes, look up, and he's in this black void. And then the rest of the song, Tyler doesn't have the same energy. He's just kind of casually walking, and then it keeps cutting back and forth between that close-up shot with the red eyes and this shot of him walking down the street. And then it ends with Blurryface still in control, and he finishes the song, and then he kind of backs away into the darkness. Watch this. And it's interesting because that's kind of how thoughts work, that something can just pop up out of nowhere, and then it kind of retreats, and it's really hard to combat or fight against things that just come and go so quickly. And, ultimately, I think if Blurryface and the bishops represent thoughts and insecurities, well, then it would make sense that in Trench we see the Banditos were not successful over the bishops, that they still were in power when that album and that story ended, because your own thoughts and insecurities is not something that other people can do for you. Even they can be with you, but they can't, and they are, a support system, a jumpsuit, but they're not the ones that has to actually conquer those thoughts in moments. It's actually you. It's your your ability to fight, your ability to put practices and behaviors in your mind to combat ideas and insecurities when they pop up. And so it's a cool visual representation to end the song that way, and how, Blurryface kind of like shows up out of nowhere, finishes a song, and then backs out into the darkness. It's a cool way to end a music video that's telling a story. All I can think about is I can't even get in the right mindset of what I was thinking when I watched this way back then when the song first came out, because like I didn't know anything about Dema or this universe. I just thought it was an interesting, concept to, display insecurities. But now we have all this information about the bishops and Dema and the banditos and Trash and Ned, all of these different details that we can now go back and apply to and see where they started coming to light in the music videos. And then there's a few things I want to point out to you guys, because I did not see any significance in them or couldn't figure them out. So if you have any thoughts, I want you to leave it in the comments and let me know. But before I say those, I want to encourage you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And also, once again, leave a comment on any thoughts you have on Tyler and Josh's Stressed Out song, music video, whatever. The first thing is there's this white void that introduces the family. I don't think that this is significant because I haven't seen it anywhere else, but it could be. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. The other thing is I couldn't figure out what on the drum set that Tyler is playing. It says 21 Pilots. It looks like it was handwritten on there. And then at the top, there's SLC, and the L is backwards. I don't know what SLC stands for. It could be an abbreviation for skeleton click or something of that nature. That was my best guess. I could be wrong. If you have information on that, please let me know. I really want to know that detail. But I think that's about all of the thoughts I have. I also want to do a video that's going through the live performance from their Scaled and Icy when they perform Stressed Out live on their live stream. There's some details in there that makes connections to other Dema related music videos that I would love to point out in like a shorter video. But I think that's coming shortly. I just wanted to take time, look back on this video, and point out everything I noticed from years ago when they were just releasing and coming out with content for the Blurryface album. I'm glad you're watching. If you've made it to this point, thank you for listening and hearing all my thoughts. Now it's time for you to share yours. I want to hear all of them. Thank you for watching, subscribing, and liking this video. And click here if you want to hear me talk about another music video. I did one on Saturday. The music video, the song from the Scaled and Icy album. I do a full Dema breakdown as much as I could see and comprehend. And if you're interested in that, go ahead and click on it. Really appreciate your time. We'll see you in the next one.